Welcome to the Batteries Not Included podcast. I'm your co-host, Tanner.
My name is Carter.
Last episode we kind of scratched the surface. Talk about some pretty basic things.
Basic things like some personal things, maybe.
This time we're going to get a little bit deeper.
Yeah, this podcast we wanted to dive a little deeper with what we're talking about, and specifically around mental health. Obviously, everyone has their mental health problems. Everyone goes through things. But I don't know, I've always seen myself as a pretty mentally stable person, and I had this thing happen to me last summer. And it took a huge toll on my well-being and just my life in general. So yeah, that's one thing I definitely want to cover today.
Should we start there?
We'll start there, I guess. So yeah, last summer I studied abroad in Copenhagen, Denmark for 6 weeks. And really I can't say enough about that experience. It was like so incredible. Met so many new people. And I got to travel a different country for 6 weeks. Took 2 classes. But yeah, towards the end of it, I went through this thing where what I think now was anxiety, but honestly, I can't really put a finger on it. I can't explain it whatsoever. So basically, while I was in Copenhagen, we did smoke a lot of weed when we were there. Like, we pretty much smoked every day. And my one Spanish friend was a huge stoner, and honestly, like, while I was over there, I was like, shit, like, I'm back in my stoner ways, like, smoking every night. And that's basically kind of how this anxiety got started. Because when I was in Copenhagen, there was a lot of other things going on in my life. Like, back home in Minnesota, my grandpa wasn't doing too well, and he actually died while I was over there on July 13th.
Rip Leroy.
Rip Leroy, yeah. And I don't know, there was a lot of communication between me and my mother. Like, she would call me on the phone, really just crying, and like we would just cry together while I was over there. That happened multiple times. So I think that's one thing that kind of sparked this. But I still really can't put a finger on it completely. So towards the end of my session, going back to the weed thing, we smoked this joint like every other night, basically, out behind our dorm. And we smoked this one joint. And I keep thinking it was laced with something, but it might not have been. It was a spliff, which is tobacco and weed mixed. And like the one time I hit it, I knew that something was wrong, and like I felt that in my head that something was wrong. It was like I felt like a wave go through the front of my head and then all the way back, and it's like something just kind of sat right in the back of my head when I ripped the weed, and that was like a real eye opener for me.
Was that the first hit?
It was the last. It was like one of the last hits, dude.
That's like what blows my mind though. It's like.
No, I know. So like I'm trying to figure out like what the fuck, you know?
Yeah, because like I mean, if it was laced, like you would have noticed right away.
And I've like researched this a lot. There's always like some point about like euphoric feeling, or like I've had this effect on it. It was nothing like this, where there was a fucking just wave that went through my head, and like it was a noticeable feeling, and it just sat. It was right at the end of the joint too, so I was really confused, like what the hell is this? So I went to bed that night, waking up hoping something would be different. Still had that feeling in my head. Went for a run.
So you like went to bed like in like a fucked up state?
Oh yeah, I was fucked up. I was like, shit, what the hell did I do? Like, what the fuck did I do to myself? And that was just the beginning. And I went to bed. Woke up the next morning, nothing was changed. Went for a run, hoping something would change. I think I ended up getting a migraine on my run.
Jesus.
So that kind of added to it. I got like the whole tunnel vision thing, and my head really hurt. So yeah, from this point on, up until I flew home a week later, like I explained to my mom, I had this like war going on in my head where there was like so much chaos. And I don't know, it's like the best way to explain it is like someone turned on a fucking like blender and I couldn't fucking turn it off.
And it's like the fucking
It was just like
disposal.
It was just like all it was all go in my head, and like my brain was just a mess. And I would just go throughout my day. Like my Spanish friends over there knew something was wrong with me. And shout out to them because they were so fucking helpful through this whole thing. But yeah, I just kept on getting these thoughts like, what the hell did I do to my brain? Like, I smoked this fucking weed. Like, what the hell did I do to myself? Did I fuck my brain up, for good,
Yeah.
Those thoughts are just so horrible to deal with. I can't even explain that.
Anxiety, though.
Yeah, and then those thoughts would pile on each other, bring out the anxiety, and it would just tumble upon itself, all these thoughts. So yeah, basically I flew home the one Saturday. It was August 3rd. And whenever I got home, I still had that feeling in my head, I know, but it was like the adrenaline kind of took over. I'm home. I get to see everyone. Everything was good for a couple days. The day after I got home, I went to my grandpa's funeral, got that taken care of. That was good. And then once the jet lag set in from going from Denmark back to the States of Minnesota, it's like everything just came crashing down on me. And this is like where it really got real, because it's even kind of hard to talk about now. I haven't really said this to many people, but like I have talked to professionals about it. I can't really explain it, but it sounds like anxiety. I went into this state for 5 days where it was almost like there was electricity just like running through my body. I couldn't get comfortable no matter what I did.
That's fucking like restlessness, like anxiety.
Sure. Yeah, and the best way to explain this is like a 5-day long panic attack where
Jesus Christ.
Where I wasn't myself at all. There was this electricity going through my body.
No, dude, you were fucked up. Like that wasn't you.
Yeah, and my mom said that too. Like she couldn't see me, in like when she looked at me. Like just that whole thing was like such a mind fuck to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's got to be terrifying. Like that's gonna make it worse, right? To hear that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like it's
real. That was more after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went in this state for 5 days, and I literally thought everything was over. Like I didn't think I was coming back from this, and it was those thoughts again. What the hell did I do to myself? How did I fuck up my brain here? What the hell's going on? And all these thoughts tumbled upon each other. Everything got worse. And the weird thing about it was almost like a disassociated feeling where I was living in like a dream or something. And I was just waiting to wake up from this fucking horrible thing that was happening to me. So, the weird thing is that it was once the jet lag set in that everything came crashing down. So 5 days passed. I took this nap on the next Saturday. I just took a nap in the middle of the day, and I woke up from the nap, and I realized that something like switched off in my head.
It's so weird that there's like defining moments, like when it came over you, and then
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It was weird. It was so bizarre, and I woke up from the nap. Something got switched off, and honestly, this affected me for the next 6 months of my life, because it was like I was just coming down from this panic attack, and it was just a incremental improvement each day, and I could feel my head getting a little better coming down from this. It was just so bizarre. I can't really fucking explain it.
Yeah, man.
So
I remember, like when you came back, it was like when I think it was Becca and like Liv came over.
Yeah, they came over.
And like it would be like watching TV or something, and like a loud scene would just be too much.
I know.
And you had to go like just like calm your mind.
Yeah, it was like that for a long time, where it was like too much stimulus, too much going on outside, like watching TV, or like having people talk, loud noises. Like I just couldn't take that, so I had to go back in my dark fucking room.
Yeah.
And like recoup.
And that's the thing too, like people dealing with this shit, like you fall back to your room.
Yeah.
Or like your bed. But that's not where you want to be.
No, I know.
It's like alone in a dark place, like just laying down. Like in your case, it's different.
I totally get that. But yeah,
but
in this, yeah. In this time, it was like that was the only thing that would calm my mind. It was so bizarre because I think of meditation as a way to sit down and like whatever come to terms with things.
Yeah.
Settle your mind. Like I get that, but this was like a whole nother beast. I don't even know.
This is like
how to explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, the weird thing about that too, because we hung out with Brendan.
Oh yeah.
The Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I've gone over this so many fucking times. So I remember these fucking days. Like, what the hell happened? We hung out with Brendan, and this was before my whole panic attack 5-day thing. He said him and Maddie said to me.
Wait, before you left?
No, when I got back.
Oh yeah.
This was right before like this whole panic attack started.
Oh yeah, so it was in that interim between. Okay. Yeah.
So I had my grandpa's funeral the Monday after, the next day after. We met up with my friend Brendan and his girlfriend Maddie. They both said to me they had a similar dream with me in it, that it was where I couldn't stop crying in their fucking dream.
That's
and like they didn't know how to help me. Like they were trying to help me in my dream, but they didn't know how. I was just bawling my fucking eyes out, and that was the fucking definition of those 5 days. Like that was that was the 5 days.
Like nothing could help you.
No, and I was so fucking mind blown when they said that, because I could feel myself just whatever moving into something.
That's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when like they were talking about like the trippy dream shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that's sort of weird, like just coincidence with timing. It's like I don't know. It gets you into that like whole deeper like consciousness energy sort of like hippie idea, like you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you're feeling somehow in their dream, like you know what I mean?
I know.
Like some connection in consciousness.
Yeah, that fucked me up.
Yeah, some
when
crazy
they said
stuff.
that.
No, it's just weird.
The fact that they both had like a dream like that.
No, but dude, what's weird is like, so the whole time you're over there, I'm here alone. Mm-hmm. And like being a transfer student, I don't have a lot of friends here.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I was thinking about that too.
Dude, like I was in a fucking bad state.
Yeah.
At least for a while, but I turned to like meditation, exercise, just to keep myself busy.
Definitely.
And then like I was able to be fine, you know what I mean? But it's like still being on your own. But I've definitely struggled. Like I feel like it's ups and downs. Like always.
Yeah.
With mental health. Like just like I've been sick this week and it's fucking been down. Like just the way I see the world. Like it's what, fucking negative 20 degrees? Like
yeah, I know.
Hard to fucking be happy when it's a negative 20 out, man. Like I got a cold.
Like those little.
And I gotta walk to class. Like with a cold and it's negative 20 to learn about fucking the bond market.
The bond market.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like that's been my view. Like just, you know, just melancholy, like not finding joy out of Mouch. But like I might wake up tomorrow and
I know,
fucking
it's
like,
so fucking weird. Like that's how it works. Like one day you'll be good and you'll have a fucking good 2-day stretch. And then another day you'll be down again.
And it's not even like necessarily things that make it happen. Like it's just like you wake up one morning and you just feel. And like some diets, like those, that valley stretches much longer. Like coming out of the hospital, like I was fucking like deconditioned, like out of shape, and I relied on my bed, and like every single day I would fucking lay either on my couch or on my bed, like all day. Like I wanted it to be night so I could sleep.
Yeah.
And like that's like the common thing with all people who are depressed. Like, you just stay in bed.
Mm-hmm.
When, like, that's the last thing you should do. But it's, like, the most comfortable place. It's, like, reinforcing itself. And, like, it took me a lot to fucking get out of that. But honestly, it was, like, listening to Jordan Peterson. It's, like, clean up your room and get your shit together, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quit being a fucking bum. Like, I had a pretty decent excuse. But it's, like, I don't know.
I don't know. It's things like that. Like, listening to someone like that. Mm-hmm. What he has to say, it makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
You know, it totally makes sense. It's just like getting out of that fucking mindset of being a lazy ass. Mm-hmm. It's like just hard to fucking push yourself up and like getting that first.
Because it's like it's totally a downward spiral, right?
Yeah.
Like it just reinforces itself when you stay laying in bed, and it takes like action after action after action to like get yourself out of that.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Like I said, I've always felt like I've been a mentally stable person. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what would you say for yourself?
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, for you.
No, man. No. Like, I got issues with, like, self-loathing. Mm-hmm. Like, just, like, I'm basically a harsh fucking self-critic. Mm-hmm. Like, every little thing I do, like, but I don't recognize what I do right. And I sometimes let that get the better of me, where I'll be like... Yeah. Because, like, I mean, honestly, it's usually in the wintertime. Looking outside at that shit. Like, I get like this. But definitely, like, I guess it depends what I got going in my life. Mm-hmm. But I think I definitely have struggled with depression.
Yeah.
Definitely. Not anxiety so much. But, I mean, like, when I was in the hospital and shit, it's like... your life's on the line.
I know. I can't even imagine that shit, too.
Yeah. And, like,
you're in there for a reason.
Like,
and
they're like, hey, you're trapped in this room, and also there's a tumor on your brain. And then you just, like, okay.
Like, wow.
And then, like, you just I fucking broke down. Mm-hmm. And then, like, they call a psychologist in. And they're like, hey, so you're showing signs of depression. I'm like, oh, really? Huh. Oh. Yeah, that's insightful. Who would have thought in this situation? Huh. Yeah, fuck, man. Like, I think, like, as shitty as that fucking was, like, it made me so much stronger now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, exactly. Like, you look back, and I wouldn't change a fucking thing. Because where I'm at, but...
I was depressed for a good fucking, like, 4 or 5 months. Like, the world was fucking gray.
And I don't know, man. That makes complete sense. Like, I don't know what would be the alternative? Like, how would you...
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
Like, I was optimistic, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I definitely had a good support base around me. But, I mean, still, it's, like... I think, like, the perspective it gave me is just fucking insane.
Mm-hmm. I know. Like, those fucking moments, just eye-openers. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. And you step back and take a look at who the fuck you have around you. Yeah. The people in your fucking life. Just your situation. Like, I don't know, the person you fucking have to work with. Like, those, I don't know, it's just bizarre.
And to, like, I guess, just, like, to look, having had that experience, and then, like, I feel like once you've had that state of, like, depression, it's always something that you could fall back into.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, that peak and valley thing
for sure.
For me. And I feel like for most people. But what really fucking surprises me is, like, how prevalent it is today. Mm-hmm. But also at the same time, I feel like people sort of, like, throw it around like fucking popcorn.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I have anxiety. It's
no,
like,
I know.
But it's like, you know, you can't really.
Yeah.
It's like.
I hate to, kind of shit on that. Because, yeah, it's a real fucking thing.
Yeah, I know.
Some people just have these, like, little things they fucking bitch about.
It's like the definitions become so broadened. Like, you have an exam next week that you haven't studied for. Of course, you're going to be anxious about it, but that doesn't constitute fucking anxiety. Like, that's a whole nother monster, right? Or, like, I don't know, I just feel like, oh, I'm depressed. Like, it's just become so common, but, like, at the same time, there's a whole lot more depressed and anxious people. But then you think, too, like, back when our parents are growing up, or even a generation before that, like, was it just a lack of awareness? Like, were people going through this? Is it something in our society today that's different? And I mean, I think the internet and things like that certainly play a role.
Yeah.
But also, like, was it just neglected back then? Or is there a reason we see more of this now?
Yeah. I think the lack of awareness is a fucking big one, dude.
But, I mean, a stricter definition, too. Because obviously there's going to be depressed people. Like, people still committed suicide centuries ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
But it's like, I don't know. I feel like to, like, just throw the term around. Because it's hard to say, like, oh, fucking toughen up. You know what I mean? But, like, that was more the attitude back then. And I think that attitude is still, like, right in some sense. Like, just because you're depressed, don't fucking sit around and mope and, like...
Yeah.
Because you're only going to make it worse. Like,
but, dude, when...
confront it.
Yeah.
You know?
And when I'm in, like, a bad spot or something, and if someone were to tell me to fucking toughen up...
No, it's not going to help.
I would be fucking... pissed. Like, I would...
No, it don't help.
No, definitely.
But, like, that's something you should realize in your own, like, on your own right, you know?
Yeah, I just kind of, like, keep that in mind. Like, maybe I do just need to fucking, you know...
God, I was watching fucking... It was, like... This is sort of related, not so much to mental health, but it was, like, Duncan Trussell. I think he was on, like, Theo Von or something. And he was talking about... He was on a plane and, like, some kid was crying or something. And he was, like, bitching about it in his head. And he's like, oh, not in my kingdom. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just these little fucking things. Like, not my kingdom. Like, you're some fucking king. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's like...
I know, that's, like, one thing that's become a lot more... or that I've seen a lot more, and it's always fucking been there, is, like, everyone has some shit to complain about, dude. And I don't know, just how much bitching there is.
I feel like...
shit.
So to relate this to mental health, I feel like if you have more gratitude, you're gonna have better mental health.
Yeah, and, like, when you have moments like that where you go through a fucking, like, just train wreck, and you fucking come out of that, like, I'm so much more grateful, like, what the fuck I have.
Yeah.
You know? Like, god damn it. It's, like, times like those, and now when I'm at fucking Quick Trip hating my life, like, dude, I think about when I was laying in bed, and I was laying in fucking bed in this fucking panic attack, and all I could think of was, get me back to Quick Trip. Like, just let me go back to my shitty fucking job right now, dude. That's all I was thinking about. So, I mean, it's just times like those that really... I mean, it's cliche, but they fucking define you, like, in your mindset. And, yeah, I could talk about that one all day, dude. Last summer, my experience last summer, but goddamn. I don't know, I've talked to professionals about it, too, and it sounds like anxiety. I thought forever it was lace weed.
Yeah.
But
I feel like that's, in a way, sort of just like a cop-out argument to, like, justify it with yourself.
Yeah. It's kind of just like to put a label on it, you know?
Yeah, or like, oh, it was this or that.
Yeah.
That's another thing, too, like, not confronting the root of things, which I feel like is definitely going to tie into mental health. Because, like, say you're depressed about something because you're in a bad relationship. Like, you know that's true, but you might not actively confront that. You know what I mean? So, like, you know that's what's weighing you down. That's what's fucking, like, making you feel like shit.
Yeah.
But rather than take the steps to get out of that, you're going to just let it keep happening.
Yeah, for sure.
But, like, attack it at the root. Like,
for sure.
Why am I laying in bed? Because I'm not happy about what? Okay.
I know, like, really fucking go down to the fucking truth. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I feel like for the most part, people know why they don't fucking feel good. Like, you know what you need to fix in order to maybe, like, get a spark, get into a routine.
But a lot of times people are too, like, scared or lazy to confront it.
Definitely.
It was like Carl Jung, psychologist, talked about the shadow, which is, like, the fucking dark, like, unconscious part of your brain. Or sometimes it could be, like, your conscious part of your brain, but it's, like, it's your bad qualities, like, the bad things you do.
Yeah.
And you should actively, rather than repressing those things that make you a shitty person or make you behave in a bad way, like, confront that directly. And at least, if you can't change them, be conscious of them. Like, you know, I sometimes feel like I need to steal. Like, at least be aware of that. Or, like, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Yeah. It's like when I don't know, for me, it's like when I get around people who are complaining, bitching about shit, and I catch myself complaining about something totally useless, like recognizing that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I think to, like, actively, like, just be more aware of the way you behave and act and think goes so far. Like, just to see the good in things and not the bad. Because definitely when you're in that depressive state, you see the bad aspects of things, which help recreate that spiral. But, like, if you're in a good state, and you need to, like, get to the point where you're seeing everything through, like, a good lens. And that was part of my experience. Like, okay, I might have been in the hospital with fucking cancer, but at the same time, it's like, what are the positives of this? And honestly, like, yeah, it sucks getting cancer, but, like, I'm glad it happened. Because I am a way better person now than I would have been.
Definitely.
And it's like, so you take that shitty fucking situation that, like, was terrible in my family, friends, basically everyone who actually cared about me, and myself. But then, like, it was a terrible situation, but at the end of the day, it worked out to be better. Yeah. Because I'm so much more close with family, friends, and, like, more aware of who I really am too.
Definitely.
At the end of it. So I think, like, that ties back to, you know, confronting, like, your shadow. Or because if you confront, like, those bad aspects about yourself, it's going to be...
Yeah, and like you said, like, people don't want to look at that shit. You know what I mean? And it's like the whole, whatever, social media thing today where you want to see all the fucking good. Like, you don't want to confront the bullshit. And, I don't know, people just, they don't want to look at the bad side of themselves, you know?
I feel like social media is, like, all the fake shit, man.
Yeah.
That's what, it's so fake. And, like, the fakeness of people just... You ever have those days?
Oh, yeah, dude, it's
You ever have those days where, like, you could just see through the fakeness of people?
Oh, yeah.
And, like, it just fucking just bothers you. Because that was yesterday for me, man. Holy shit. I walk in and my professor's like, he's doing, like, the newscaster type voice. So how's it going today, class? He's like, today we're going to be... And I'm like, dude, like, cut the fucking shit.
Dude,
like, give it to me straight, man. And then like you see social media and it's like all this fucking this bullshit, like a fake filtered and like these cheesy little captions and and like that's creating some fucking fake reality. And at the same time, like that's not real, right? That's something we totally miss talking about mental health too. Is social media.
Yeah, definitely.
I think we got to get Jenna on here to talk about, because I feel like for a girl, social media is so much more influential on mental health than it is for guys. But at the same time, I mean, it's certainly affecting guys.
Yeah. It's like with girls, if you have all these if you're a sexy girl and you have all these dudes reaching out to you, fucking just stroking you, you know? like just stroking your fucking image. What does that do for you? Like when something goes wrong?
No, what's even scarier to me is there are 5th and 6th grade and 6th grade girls with like 1,000+ followers, and they get that
just getting dolled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck does that do to a developing brain? Mm-hmm. You know?
For sure.
Like, I know. Fuck, it was like Jonathan Haidt or something on Rogan was talking about like, so rates of depression and anxiety are way higher in females. So his whole thing is like, no social media. Mm-hmm. But they're way higher in females than they are in males. But male suicide rates are higher. And that, I don't know what that speaks to. Different biological differences or whatever.
Oh shit.
But like just the scope of it today is like, it's ridiculous. It's got to be what, like 1 in every 4 or 5 people, if I had to guess.
Like with depression, anxiety?
Yeah, that struggle with something like that.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has it to some fucking degree.
It's like 13% of America is on some sort of drug.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that's fucked up.
So it's like, I feel like fundamentally there must be something wrong with society, not people's heads. Right? If it's that many fucking people, it's not them. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. There's something else going on here.
Yeah. Naval on Rogan too, he was saying how like the reason, or his ideas on like the reason behind that is because there's like too much stimulus today. You know, like there's too much looking at your phone, all these fucking things in your life. Everything's like too stimulating, and the only way to fix that is to get away from all that shit. So that was his take on it, which that makes sense. At least for, even if it's putting your fucking phone away for a couple hours, you know.
Dude, honestly, like you see people walking to and from class and like they're on their phone, like it's -20 and you're scrolling through Instagram. Like put your gloves on. Like, put your gloves on. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, like deleting that shit is the best thing I ever did. Mm-hmm. Because you don't even think about it anymore. And honestly, like, it's not that it took up too much of like my mental state before or like had bad effects, but after the fact, I think it was having bad effects on my mental state just subconsciously.
Yeah.
Because like if you post a picture, you want those likes, right?
Oh yeah. And
you probably have some number in your head like, oh, I want to get to this many. But then if you don't get that many, oh, I wanted her to like it, or I wanted, oh, did he see it? Like, and then it, like you're just putting your brain through some needless stress.
Oh yeah, needless.
Like, sure. What does that do for you? Unless you're like actually a content creator or like someone who's trying to promote something, I don't see a use for social media.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Honestly,
you just like putting yourself through some shit you don't need to. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Fuck, dude. We've had a good fucking talk.
Have we?
It's been a lot of fun.
Have we?
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Well, we should get Jenna on here next time. We'll emphasize on the social media.
We could totally be down for that. Get a girl's perspective. Fucking, putting up ass pics. That'd be kind of cool.
Let's do that. Ass pics and dick pics.
That'd be nice. Hey, but Jesus. Thank y'all. This has been good. That's episode 2.
Batteries not included.